Hey, Shalom. This is Brother Shalom from the Great Millstone Atlanta Church. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Also, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Peace and safety to the elect, men, women, and children throughout the four corners of the earth, who are the 12 tribes of Israel to this day, that consists of you Negroes, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Shalom to you. And I'm just going to do a lesson on this book that I've been reading. It says, it's called What They Never Told You in History Class. So, of course, we know we all over here in Babylon came up in grade school learning the history of America, so-called black history in the month of February, and, pretty much just slavery. So this book actually, it touches a lot on segregation, slavery in the United States, white supremacy. It has a lot of it touch on a lot of topics that, and they are correct, but there are flaws in this book. You have to pick out the bones to get to the meat. It talks about the Negroes being Africans, comparing us to the Africans. It talks a lot about Egypt, as far as the most of the knowledge and science come from Egypt, but they also gives a difference in Hamites and Negroes, but it also classifies as the same people, which we are two totally different races of people or nationalities of people. The Negroes, you are the Hebrew Israelites from the tribe of Judah, or you could be from also Benjamin or Levi, and those who the Jews are, according to the scriptures, according to the Bible. But this book here, it has some helpful, true information in it. But I'm just going to go into it. I'm going to first go to page 41 as far as because they still believe in the Big Bang Theory and the earth being millions of years old. They talk about history, hundreds of thousands of years ago. But of course, we know that that's not true. The earth is only a few thousand years old. But this is page 41, and I'm just going to read it. It says, in no area where Caucasians in debt to Negroes, Shalaki, I'm going to start over. It says, in no area where Caucasians in debt to Negro contributions. In an instance, when Hamites were engulfed by large Negro tribes, the products mixed, the mixed products were considered inferior or by the pure Hamites. So there's a difference according to the writer of this book. There's a difference between Negroes and Hamites. So the Hamites supposed to be Ham is the progenitor of all the dark races, mainly in Africa, pretty much all over Africa. Not too much West Africa, because that's where a lot of the Israelites were settling. before the slave trade. But the Ethiopians and the Egyptians, and going back, even through Babylon, those were Babylon had mixed nationalities, but mainly those were Africans. But I'm gonna also read page. Let me go to page 230. That's something else I ran into, and I haven't went through this whole book, but just kind of like finding important topics. It's kind of on point, but then again it goes off. But it talks about this image right here of who we all know is Caesar Borgia. It's basically talking about God being a black man, and Jesus being the son of God, or we know his real name is Yahweh Shai, being the son of Yahweh, was black. But at the top it says Jesus Christ, the Son of God, was black. And it says in early Christian art, Jesus is almost invariably represented as a black skin. In the book of Revelations, it reads, "A throne stood in heaven with one seated on that throne, and to be sat there appeared like jasper and cornelian. Both of these are rare stones that are dark." So that's actually kind of on point. They compared the skin to dark colored stones, and of course if you read Revelations 1, it tells you that the Messiah had dark skin, really dark skin. So this is pretty much on topic with that. But what really got me was the next page, because this book here, it's like I said, it compares the Negroes to the Africans, which are the Hamites. But it also it gives you information like this. And it says the Hebrews were dark-skinned African people. Of course, we know that they weren't African people. They were Israelites. And it gives you the topics, or it gives you pretty much the main scriptures that describe the people having dark skin. So if you're looking at the screen, it's showing that even in some of these other countries, so-called Christian religions in these other countries, they have the Messiah as being a Negro, and they go into detail about his hair and all of that. But also here's an image, and at the bottom it says, this was actually a coin. It says this coin places beyond doubt that belief that Jesus Christ was a Negro whose real name is Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. So it has things like that. Like I said, you have to pick out the bones to get to some of the meat that's in here, some of the good stuff. But other than that, it goes into depth about white supremacy towards the front of the book here. It tells you about all of these presidents. All of these presidents were slave owners. But going back to there's John Hanson. It had, like I said, it has a lot of important information in here. But You know, back to this right here. You know, they tell you the truth somewhat, but they don't tell you why everything is the way it is. You know, first of all, we was put in slavery for not abiding by the laws of the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Second of all, we're still in captivity, so we're still up under the curses that the Most High put on us. But our people are waking up. This is part of the truth. This is not the full truth in this book. But you know, if you read something like this and you run into the lies that the so-called white man has told everyone, why don't you ask more questions? Ask more questions. Get into the scriptures. Pray for the truth. But yeah, you know, whoever wrote this book didn't answer too many questions on why was everything right here, everything covered up as far as the image and as far as the Hebrews being dark-skinned people. So I'm going to read something out of the book of Job. Shalaki. I was at the wrong part of it. 1 second. Okay, this is Job 9:24. It said, "The earth is given unto the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" So that's talking about Esau, who is the so-called white man. The earth was given into his hands. And that's why he covered the faces of the judges and gave you that image. You know, this book should have specified on things like that. And also, Isaiah 'm trying to get my focus correct on the camera so you can see it. Okay, it says, "Their land also is full." By the way, this is Isaiah 2:8. It says, "Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, which their own fingers have made." So it's talking about these heathen nations. That's why you have white Jesus, whose name isn't even Jesus, who doesn't even look like that. That's a made-up idol, you know, that was put on our people to believe that the so-called white man is God. But I'm gonna get one more, and hold on 1 second. Okay, I think this is what I wanted right here. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 19. It is said, "For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High Yahweh. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness." So, this is the foolishness of this world. Going back to these different religions and giving you images like this and putting out books that goes into, that kind of describes it, that it's not the truth. But, come Sunday, you back in church. You back celebrating Easter. You back celebrating Christmas. And you back celebrating all these pagan holidays, and staying away from the scriptures. But when I was reading this, I got a little upset about certain things that were not as true, and but then again, it had some things in here that are a little true. So I'm gonna probably get back into the book, read a little bit more. But for brothers that's reading this book or that run across this book, just let you know that it's a lot of false information in here, but it's a pretty good read. So I hope that was edifying. And to next time, Lord's willing, Shalom.